one of this 2011 Yz125 Rebuild. Only reason why we're rebuilding because cracking the casing right there. So I guess the chain must have thrown the chain and hit the casing, cracked. So we got a new half casing. We got some new V-Force reeds we're gonna throw in there. Everything else is fine. I mean, the bike starts right up, and you know, it hits, it just leaks oil. So I will be taking you through a step. I did remove the subframe. Did see a ton of carbon down there, you know. So he was complaining about it not being able to reach his full potential once he's in the RPMs. And yeah, that could be the problem. So we're just gonna heat that up later on. 06 is on up. You know what, it might be the 05, I'm sorry. I think it's the 05 and up. Clutch is on this side, clutch cable, clutch mechanism, whatever you want to call it. It's on this side. You have to take the stator cover off, lift up on this tab right there. Lift up on that tab, and the clutch cable slide right out. You pull it up out of there. You will need a flywheel puller, okay? I used to use air to get this off. I never use air to put it back on though. You gotta go and look at your manual to get the actual torque. But yeah, I use air to get this nut off. I'm gonna put this flywheel puller on. It's reverse threaded, so it'll go on left hand. Then this is right hand. I actually put pressure on the crank, popping this right off. Okay, like I said, you should already know how to do this if you got this far. Nothing out of the ordinary. I haven't ran into anything yet, but move the radiators forward. Like I said, I'm just gonna go ahead, just take the whole engine off and go from there. Boy, taking the brake pedal off. That's why I was gonna take the whole engine out before I took the clutch cover off. But I forgot I did have to take the brake off just to get the pivot bolt out. So it's okay. That was the only thing. So if you guys are trying to skip that part, you know, you got to take the brake off so you can get the swing arm pivot mount out. That's it though. Did get the stator off. No problem at all. Just remember, I forgot to tell you guys to make sure you put some lube on your puller. You know, some kind of grease, WD-40, axle grease, wet tape, just something, some kind of lube just to put on those threads so you won't cause any problems. All right, come back later when I get to another step. All right, engine is out. I'm glad to see that I didn't have to use any heat to get that pivot bolt out. I've been in some situations where I had to use a lot of heat. Actually had to go have my friend use his acetylene torch, I think that's how you say it, to actually heat it up. Damn near burnt a hole in the casings to get one of these out and beat it up to death. Had to replace it. But yeah, if you guys don't take care of it, that will happen, even on these aluminum bikes. But yeah, it came out. About to go on the bench and start working on it. And like I said, if I run into anything crazy, I'll come and let you guys know. I will show the bearing install. Probably won't be a video of it, just like a before and after and what I'm going to use to install them and how I'll get the cases and everything back together. All right. Quick tip, so you won't have to figure out where your original setting was for your gear position. What you can do is get you a Sharpie and just index it so you'll know where to set it. So that way you won't have to, sorry about the camera movement, just index it right there, so that way you won't have to worry about where exactly it was set at, have to take it off when it's on the bike and sit on it and all that. So just quick little tip. All right, top end is off. I'm gonna clean some of that carbon up off the piston. All right, thing looks pretty good. I mean, like I said, this thing was firing up great, so we're not gonna go into if he needs a top end or not. He just want that case replaced. I could just go and just pull this side off without pulling the clutches off, but I want to see what everything looks like, so I want to give everything a tug. And yeah, like I said, if I run into anything crazy, I'll come back. Now, I won't be removing the transmission, so I won't have to remove this right here. The only thing I will be replacing is this seal and the bearing, so I am going to take the crank out from both sides. Took all the clutch baskets loose. If you have air, that's great. Just remember, you won't be using air to put this back together. All right, but taking it apart is cool. You will need a clutch holder tool if you're not using air. I will have to use a clutch holder tool to put it back together. But let me flip it over and start taking the other side apart. All the case bolts holding it on, then I can get this thing split. I'll show you the tool in the next video of what I'll be using to actually split the casing and reinstall the crank. Right. So this is a tool to split the casings. It's what is called a case splitter. You can get cheap ones like I have, or you can spend a couple hundred. This one has seen its wear and tear. The mechanism works. I just have to replace my holder bolts, or whatever you want to call them here. I've got around to it. But I mean, the tool itself works great. Just have to replace these bolts. This is the crank installer. It is a Tusk brand. Tusk does make a case splitter tool too. I just bought this after I bought that, so I only paid like maybe 20 something dollars for that, and I think I paid like 30, 36, almost 40 bucks for this. Yeah, never failed me. Great tool. I've used it for multiple applications, not just installing cranks. Yeah. Also that too. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of what it was that I used it for other than splitting the case, but I did. It did serve its purpose in multiple usage, along with the installer. But all right, I can't do this correctly and video at the same time, so I'll just have to come back with the cases split. All right, got it all split. I ain't gonna lie, this thing did come a pain. Only because this pin right here, which is holding into place, and the output shaft, which is holding so tight on the on that bearing. I mean, it was a challenge. But yeah, we got it to come free. No problems. Didn't damage the crank, nowhere of any kind. And yeah. So, a couple of things we have to transfer to the new case right there. That is this plug right here. Has to be transferred. This arm, clutch arm, these studs, that collar that's in there, and the bearing retainers has to be transferred. And that's it. Everything. Oh, and this dowel pin and this collar right here. Other than that, yeah, we putting everything brand new in that casing, that brand new casing. All right. So I will be using my 20-ton hydraulic bottle press, shop press. I'm using a bearing driver just to get that gap. My gonna spray my lube in there and just press that bearing right on there. All right, so that's the process I'm doing for all of them. So I'm not gonna sit back and let you guys watch me press all these bearings in. But what I did for this one is I had to put another spacer right there just because it was offset. So I have everything level. That way I can just go ahead and press that bearing in. All right. Had to take a break for a couple days. Had to wait on some parts to come. I did get the casing together. What I had to order was that clutch bearing in there. I had to order another one. If you're trying to take it out, you're going to trash it, but it can come out. Just heat it up real good. Use a blind bearing puller and it will come out. I just didn't have to waste the time in getting that one out because it was a new case. So what I did was I heated it up. I had to position it in my press as such so it can be straight up and down. I use an extension with a 10mm socket and just made sure it was straight up and down. Heated it up real good, froze the bearing, and just pressed it in real good. And that was it. Then on the other videos previously seen, I did install that bearing. I had to order another bolt and another bearing holder for the new casing because that hole was just stripped out. I didn't want to waste the time trying to get it out, so I just ordered new ones. Put the bearings in the other side of the casing for the crank. Installed the crank. I'm going to clean up the piston. Then I'm going to install the top end. So yeah, everything is pretty much installed. Everything looks good. Going to put everything back on as I took it off, and then I will be doing a engine install on the bike. All right, so if I run into anything spectacular, I will come back and let you guys see. Oh yeah, I did put assembly lube on the crank itself, going through that bearing, engine lube through the transmission shafts. Pretty much I greased everything, engine lubed everything that had to go together. So that way when the bike starts up, it won't start up dry. Yeah, but I'll be cleaning everything up, top of the piston and everything, putting everything together. So next video I'll take is probably be the engine together on it. Show you guys is, before I show you that, the engine is completed. You just have to put the kickstart on, engine oil in, clean it all up, put the reeds in, and implant it into the cradle. I want to show you guys the reeds that's going in. New V-Force 4. So we're gonna see what these do. He had the V-Force 3 in there. All right, see the difference? Just has a little reed block cage on there. I mean, that's all I can tell. But yeah, see how it goes. Didn't run into any complications, anything strange. I know I said that I was going to show you guys how to use the crank installer, but I ran out of time. It started storming on me, so yeah, I had to get that engine together. I had to make a deadline. But I do have another CR80. I'll be making a video on that, just the bottom end. It's gonna be something quick. I'll probably just show how to install the crank and how to use the crank installer on that. I won't go through the whole engine on that. I'll just show how to install the crank on that. So stay tuned to the next video. And yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit them likes, and thanks for watching. Cover start.